Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. I want you to imagine a scenario that, honestly, until very recently, sounded like pure science fiction. Imagine assigning a really complex, multi-layered feature to your engineering team. You give them the brief, you close your laptop, you literally walk away from your desk and you go grab a coffee. You return a few hours later, and what do you find? The pull request has already been created, the bugs are fixed, the testing suite is passed with flying colors, and all the documentation is perfectly updated. And the kicker here, the absolute craziest part, all of this was handled entirely autonomously by Claude Opus 4.8. You didn't get a single, hey, quick question ping at 11 p.m. You didn't wake up to a broken build. You didn't have to hold anyone's hand. The work is just done. That is exactly what Anthropic has just shipped, and today, we're going to break down exactly how this whole thing works.
Look, we are looking at a massive paradigm shift today. The old era of AI, it was basically defined by constant supervision. You'd prompt the model, wait for a response, correct its inevitable mistakes, prompt it again. It was essentially like hiring an assistant who needs to ask for permission before taking every single microscopic action. It's exhausting, right? But the future with Claude 4.8 represents a total departure from that. The era of needing to constantly prompt, correct, and just babysit your AI is ending. It's being replaced by a system that is genuinely designed to execute complex tasks heads down. It's built to stay focused and maintain its direction over long, extended sessions without needing you to jump in and intervene every 5 minutes.
So to really understand this leap in technology, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll cover the autonomous AI teammate. Then, inside Claude Opus 4.8. Third, the developer workflow. Fourth, the research pipeline. And finally, limitations and AI oversight.
All right, Section 1, the autonomous AI teammate, graduating to teammate.
So the absolutely crucial point we need to establish right off the bat is that AI is fundamentally graduating from a passive assistant into an independent collaborator. Anthropic hasn't just improved benchmark scores or, bumped up their leaderboard ranking. They've fundamentally redesigned the model to hold context and maintain direction over extended sessions. When we talk about a fundamental shift, we mean the system's core ability to act as a cohesive unit that understands the broader context of your project rather than just reacting to isolated single-turn prompts. It is no longer just a fancy search engine you talk to or an autocomplete feature, it's a teammate.
Moving right along to Section 2, inside Claude Opus 4.8, core update breakdown.
Now, what's really interesting is exactly what changed under the hood. There are 5 core upgrades that define Opus 4.8. First up, we have longer autonomous execution. That just means Claude can sustain complex, multi-step tasks without losing its train of thought. Second is stronger agentic coding. This means it doesn't just write code blindly in a vacuum, it understands exactly why the code exists, where it fits into your broader project, and how a tiny change in one file will ripple through your entire system. Third, and this is the absolute game changer, guys, we have dynamic workflows. This lets Claude spin up multiple specialized sub-agents to tackle different parts of a problem at the exact same time. Think of it like a manager assigning tasks to a research agent, a front-end agent, and a testing agent all working in parallel. No more waiting in a line. Fourth is better uncertainty detection. Instead of confidently hallucinating some software library that doesn't actually exist, which we all hate, it stops and asks. It flags when it doesn't know something, which is just a massive deal for real-world reliability. And fifth, we have broadly improved reasoning for those much deeper logical chains.
But you know what? The most underrated part of this whole update isn't even the model itself. It's the engine driving it, which is called Claude Code. Now, Claude Code isn't just another chat window in your web browser. No, it is a fully agentic tool that lives directly inside your repository. It reads your entire codebase, maps out your architecture, and really understands how everything connects. It essentially acts as a full engineering team working in parallel, entirely capable of creating pull requests, running bug sweeps, and maintaining context across sessions that honestly would have completely broken any previous AI tool on the market.
Let's move to Section 3, the developer workflow, founder to feature.
Because, let's be real, this technology only matters if you can actually put it to use. So imagine you're a founder building a SaaS product, and you need to add a customer referral system. Here is the exact practical workflow. Step 1 is the context drop. You just drop a plain English brief into Claude Code, literally just something like, hey, build a customer referral system, let users generate unique links, and track conversions. Step 2, repository analysis. Claude jumps in and maps your user models, authentication, and database schema completely automatically. Step 3, it generates an implementation plan for you to review before it writes a single line of code. Then, Step 4 is where the magic happens. Parallel execution. Its dynamic subagents simultaneously write the back-end logic, build the front-end dashboard, and set up API routes without waiting on each other at all. Step 5. A dedicated testing agent runs the validation suite and automatically fixes any breaks it caused along the way. And finally, Step 6, it opens a pull request with a crystal clear description and perfectly updated documentation. Your total time invested? Just the 20 minutes it took you to write the brief and approve the plan. Claude handled the rest.
Now for Section 4, the research pipeline, students and teachers.
Okay, so you might be wondering, is this just for coders? Absolutely not. Claude Opus 4.8 is built for non-technical knowledge workers too. Let's say a student is researching a really dense topic, like climate change economics. They can use this exact same parallel pipeline. Step 1, you define the scope. I need peer-reviewed sources from the last 5 years. Step 2, Claude gathers and filters those sources. Step 3, summarization. And this is huge. Instead of you manually reading dozens of dense 40-page PDFs at 2 a.m., Claude provides structured summaries of the methodologies, key findings, and limitations. Step 4 is knowledge synthesis. Now this is distinct from summarization. Claude is actively building a coherent outline, identifying exactly where the sources agree, where they conflict, and where the actual research gaps are. It's connecting the dots for you. Finally, Step 5, output generation. You can have it whip up exam flashcards, a slide outline, and a perfectly formatted bibliography. The true power here is that the AI handles the grueling, boring logistics, allowing the student or the teacher to focus entirely on the part that actually matters: human judgment and critical thinking.
Finally, Section 5, limitations and AI oversight. Current boundaries.
Okay, let's ground the hype for a second and be real. As impressive as this technology is not magic, and it has very distinct boundaries. We have to impartially examine where it breaks down. First up, the context ceiling. Despite massive improvements, Claude can still drift or lose the thread on truly massive enterprise-scale codebases with thousands of interconnected files. Second, compounding errors. Think of this like a butterfly effect. If an early subagent makes a confident wrong turn or an incorrect assumption, the downstream agents will just blindly multiply that mistake before you even catch it. Third, the CLI barrier. Right now, Claude Code is a command line interface tool. That means it requires a degree of technical comfort that creates a very real accessibility gap for non-technical users. And fourth, ethical weight and governance. As these autonomous systems coordinate as teams and literally alter production systems, we have to ask a highly practical question. Who holds the pager when it breaks, right? If an agent makes a bad architectural decision or writes a security vulnerability, who is ultimately responsible? Governance frameworks are currently lagging way behind the operational speed of autonomous AI decision-making.
So what's the practical takeaway for you today? It's simply this: you must use AI autonomy as an accelerator, not a replacement for your human judgment. Yes, Anthropic is building toward AI that catches its own flaws, but you absolutely must set up review checkpoints right now. You have to keep humans in the loop, especially for high-stakes decisions. The entire goal of this incredible technology is to help you move faster, scale your output, and execute more powerfully. It is absolutely not meant to remove your hard-earned expertise from the process entirely.
As we transition out of the era of simple AI assistants and step into the dawn of true AI teammates, I really want to leave you with this final thought. Think about those multi-step, complex projects that just eat up your entire week. What is the very first workflow in your life or your work that you would immediately hand off to an autonomous AI teammate today, if you knew you could fully trust it? Just think about how that would change your day-to-day life. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep exploring how this fundamental shift in technology can accelerate your own workflows. Catch you next time.